Cowboys Nation, what's going on? It's Alex back again with another big update, and before we dive into this shocking story, I gotta say this really quick. Most of you watch my videos every single day but still haven't subscribed, so do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the bell so you never miss any breaking Cowboys news, because trust me, you're not gonna want to miss the updates I have coming for you. Alright, let's get into this one because it's huge. Today we're talking about CeeDee Lamb and the early injury diagnosis that honestly has Cowboys fans everywhere holding their breath. This is the kind of story that could change the way this season plays out, and the news right now is not looking too good. So hey race, what we know: CeeDee Lamb, one of the most important players on this Cowboys roster, went down with an injury that at first didn't look too serious, but once the medical team got a closer look, the tone changed really quickly. Early reports are now suggesting this could be more than just a day-to-day situation. In fact, the talk is that Lamb could be facing a multi-week absence, and that's the last thing this Cowboys offense needs right now. When you talk about who makes this offense tick, you have to mention Dak Prescott, but right after that it's CeeDee Lamb, because he's not just the number one wide receiver, he's the guy who stretches defenses, who pulls the coverage, who opens up everything else in the passing game. Now let's pause and think about what this means. If CeeDee Lamb is out for multiple weeks, you're taking away Dak's most trusted weapon, his safety blanket, the player who can turn a 5-yard catch into a 30-yard gain instantly. Lamb has been that guy all season, and without him the Cowboys are going to have to figure things out really quickly. So what's the actual diagnosis? Well, the team hasn't given an official timetable yet, but sources close to the situation are saying the early diagnosis is pointing to something that will take time to heal, and not just a couple of practices off. We're talking about potentially missing games, and when you're in the middle of a season where every single game matters, that's a nightmare scenario for the Cowboys. Think about the timing too. This is not coming in the preseason when you have weeks to adjust and shuffle things around. This is happening right in the middle of the grind, when playoff positioning starts to matter, when rival teams are watching and smelling weakness. If CeeDee Lamb misses 2 or 3 games, that's not just tough on the stat sheet, that could shift momentum completely. And when you think about how competitive the NFC is this year, the Cowboys can't afford to lose ground. Now I want you to imagine the Cowboys offense without Lamb lining up wide. Who's the next man up? Gallup has shown flashes but hasn't consistently stepped into that true WR1 role. Brandin Cooks brings speed and experience, but again, he's more effective when defenses are already focused on Lamb. Jalen Tolbert is still developing, so this means Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott are going to have to get creative with how they spread the ball around. The run game suddenly becomes even more important, and Pollard will have to carry an even bigger load. But let's be real here, Cowboys Nation, we've seen what happens when Dak doesn't have his top guys around him. Sometimes the offense stalls out, sometimes the rhythm is completely gone, and defenses pin their ears back and go after him. And that's why this news feels so heavy, because Lamb isn't just a receiver, he's a momentum changer, he's a tone setter, he's the guy that defenses circle on the whiteboard during film sessions, and without him that defensive attention spreads out, which makes life a whole lot tougher for everybody else. Now I want to make this clear: nothing is 100% confirmed yet. The Cowboys will still run further tests and probably keep some information close to the chest, because that's just how they operate. But from everything that's leaking right now, the expectation is not good, and fans should be preparing themselves for Lamb missing more than just one game. And if you followed the Cowboys long enough, you know injuries at the wrong time have haunted this team for years. It feels like every time Dallas gets rolling, something happens, and now with Lamb possibly sidelined for weeks, that same old narrative is creeping back into the picture. So the big question now is, what adjustments can the Cowboys make without their superstar receiver? One option could be leaning heavier into 2 tight end sets, giving Dak safer throws and trying to control the clock with shorter passes. Another option could be unleashing Pollard more in the passing game, using him as a hybrid weapon out of the backfield to replace some of what Lamb does. And then of course you've got to hope Gallup or Cooks can step up in a big way. But here's the thing: you can't just replace CeeDee Lamb. You can't plug in another guy and expect the same results. That's how special he is. And let's not ignore the ripple effect. Defenses who normally double team Lamb will now start shifting their coverages differently, which means Gallup and Cooks might see tighter coverage than they're used to. It's going to test their ability to win those one-on-one matchups consistently. If they can do that, maybe, just maybe, the offense can survive until Lamb returns. But if they can't, then Dallas is Going to struggle in a big way now. Cowboys Nation, I want to hear from you. How worried are you about Lamb's injury diagnosis? Do you think this team has enough weapons to survive a multi-week absence without him, or are you already nervous about how this could sink the Cowboys' chances? Let me know in the comments, because this is a conversation that needs to be had. The reality is this team has Super Bowl level talent when healthy, but without their star wideout, things can get ugly quickly. Something else to consider is the mental side. Dak has built his chemistry with Lamb over years now. He trusts him more than anyone else on the field, and taking that away changes the way Dak has to process every snap. He has to develop that same trust with someone else almost overnight, and in the NFL, that's not easy to do when defenses are coming at you full speed every Sunday. And let me tell you this too, the Cowboys front office will be watching closely if this absence stretches longer than expected. Don't be shocked if Jerry Jones and company start sniffing around the trade market for wide receiver help. Jerry has never been shy about making a splash move, especially if the season is on the line, so while nothing is official yet, you have to keep that possibility in mind. At the end of the day, though, the most important thing is CeeDee Lamb's health. The Cowboys need him long-term more than they need him rushing back for 1 or 2 games. If he's not fully ready and he comes back too soon, the risk of re-injury is sky high, and that could derail not just the season but his career path. So as much as it hurts to say, Cowboys fans might have to accept a stretch of games without their star receiver and just hope the rest of the roster steps up in his absence. Now, I know this is tough news nobody wanted to hear, but that's the reality right now, and trust me, you'll keep you updated every step of the way as more official details come out, because this is a developing story. The Cowboys aren't going to give us everything at once, but once we know more, you'll hear it here first, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Cowboys Nation, I'm gonna wrap it up here, but the bottom line is clear. Early diagnosis suggests CeeDee Lamb could be out multiple weeks, and if that's the case, this offense faces its biggest challenge yet without their star wideout. This season can go one of 2 ways. Either the Cowboys rally together and prove their depth, or they stumble badly and watch the playoff picture slip through their fingers. Let's hope it's the first one. So do me a favor before you click off, drop a comment with your thoughts, hit that like button to help spread this video to more Cowboys fans, and of course subscribe if you haven't already, because I'll be dropping a detailed breakdown video with even more analysis and potential replacement options, so go check that out. Cowboys Nation, stay strong, stay locked in, and I'll catch you in the next one.